Hello everyone, I know I did not post anything last week. I forgot. I want to just do a video on my favorite chick flicks. I don't think I'm gonna do a countdown because I'm just so used to doing countdowns. Like, for a very long time now, my brain is just trained to do that. I don't think I'm gonna have like a particular number. I just think spouting off my favorites. I think the number one chick flick that comes to my mind, and also chick flicks aren't just for girls, they're for everybody, and I think they're just considered chick flicks because they're mainly of chicks and it's like a romance or like girls talking about girls, like, you know. So while necessarily I wouldn't say this certain movie is a chick flick, these are just well-known movies that are considered chick flicks. So yeah, I wouldn't categorize most of them as chick flicks because they're kind of spouting to different things, but a lot of them are because they're just cheesy rom-coms that I love. Number one, I'm gonna say for sure, even though it's not a countdown, is Clueless, because when I think chick flick, I think Clueless because it's just the epitome of the 90s and it's just one of my favorite films of all time. It's so funny, so unforgettable. It's just rolling with the homies, as if, like, too many quotable lines. Another one I kind of think is very similar to that obviously is Mean Girls, which is like the newer version. I think Mean Girl quotes are never not acceptable. I think they are just perfect for everyday life and I will never get sick of them. It's a movie that everybody knows and everybody loves. Even if you say you don't like it, you know you do. Another one of my favorite movies of all time is Easy A, which is Emma Stone, which I have seen this movie so many times in a short period amount of time. I'm obsessed with it. I just think it has the perfect elements of a great movie. It's funny, it has a great cast, but it's also heartwarming, and I also love the cliches and the references in this to the 80s films of the chick flicks back in the day. One of the more sappier ones is A Walk to Remember, which I'm sad to say I really love, but I also am not sad to say I really love. I think it's based off of Nicholas Sparks' novel. It's probably one of the better ones. I haven't read the book, but I think the better adaptations into film, it's so good. It's so sad. I think that what kind of makes it. There's a couple other good ones, I think, like The Last Song is pretty good, even though it's Miley Cyrus, you know, but I think that was really good. I cannot think of any other ones that I really like that much. Okay, this movie I watch like every Christmas. It's just so good, amazing, humongous cast, which is Love Actually. It's just so Christmassy and so romantic and so loving. Not only just romantic relationships, but friendships and family. And it's like all the stories tied in together. I am obsessed with this movie. I love it so much, I will never get sick of it. You've Got Mail is my favorite Meg Ryan movie, and also has Tom Hanks, which is like one of their billion movies they've done together. Okay, it was only like 3 or 4 they've done together, but this is my favorite one that they've done. I just love the whole, like, almost 2000, it's like 1998 when this movie came out, so it's like the almost into the whole world of technology where they're starting the emails, you know, You've Got Mail, AOL dial-up. And I just love the whole like New York City bookstore feeling. If you know this movie, you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to talk too much about each movie because this video would be so long, but You've Got Mail is seriously one of my favorites. It's just so, like, enemies they fall in love with each other even though they don't know who they are. They talk to each other as pen pals through the internet, not realizing they hate each other in real life because they're competitors for bookstores in the city. So that was a horrible description, but I love it so much. Tom Hanks, I love him. I mean, another good one is Sleepless in Seattle, but it's not as good, in my opinion, as You've Got Mail. Another great Meg Ryan movie. I'm obsessed with Meg Ryan movies, and you'll see that in my DVD collection whenever I do that. When Harry Met Sally is so great. It's like Meg Ryan's first humongous movie that made her famous back in the day in the 90s. This was like in 1989. She became the rom-com queen. Oh my god, I just love this movie. Her and Billy Crystal are just, I love the whole New York setting to it, and they're friends for like a decade and they never do anything. They never realize that they were meant to be together. Oh, it's so good. Another film where they're like enemies and they hate each other is The Proposal. I have a thing for that kind of thing where like they hate each other but then they really fall in love. I think that's why I love Kurt and Sebastian. It's one of my OTPs from Glee. They're just, you know, rivalries and they end up falling in love. The Proposal with Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds, just the perfect combo that you never thought would work, but it's so hilarious. Another one of those Love Actually kind of movies with a big cast and interlapping stories is Valentine's Day, which I don't know why I love this movie so much, but it's so good. There's so many great actors in it, and it's just a humongous great cast of stories that just kind of intertwine with one another. It's really cheesy, but I'm obsessed with it. I don't know why. It's just one of those movies that I can't stop watching for some reason, even though I'm ashamed sometimes to really love it. Another cheesy, sort of not really as well known movie is The Backup Plan with Jennifer Lopez, where she becomes pregnant with this guy's baby that she doesn't really know really well, and they kind of have to develop a relationship as she's pregnant with their twins. I don't know, I just think this movie is so cute and so cheesy, but I watch it quite a lot. It's just one of those movies that I just feel good about watching. I don't know why, I don't relate to it in any way, but I just really like it. A movie that kind of got a lot of bad rep because it just, I don't know, it wasn't very well done to some people, but I really love it, is Eat, Pray, Love, which is Julia Roberts, based on the novel by Elizabeth Gilbert, which I have read as well. It's not as good. The book is not as good as the movie in my opinion because there's too much religion into it, and like self acceptance and selfness, you know, like, but it's still pretty good. I just love the movie. I think it's great. Ryan Murphy directed it. He had a very much, The Normal Heart had a very much Ryan Murphy feeling to it. That's how I could tell that he directed it, because Eat, Pray, Love had a lot of that kind of similar traits to it. And I don't know, I just love Eat, Pray, Love. I love that she has this self-discovery, and it's something that I truly admire, even though that she left her marriage and didn't try hard enough. I feel very much close to that personality where, you know, you just want to give up and you just want to go off and do other things, and she did that, and she ate in Italy, she prayed in India, and she fell in love in Bali, unintentionally of course, but I just love this story and her self-discovery and journey across the world that I think everybody wishes they could do. Another great 90s film is 10 Things I Hate About You. Everybody loves 10 Things I Hate About You because Heath Ledger and Julia Stiles, and another one of those, they hate each other, an unlikely pair, two unlikely people falling in love, two people that you never even thought would ever fall in love just based on their, you know, chip on their shoulder personalities, but they end up do. And it's just one of those, the best, like, most memorable Heath Ledger movies. I just love it. It's so good. Another one that kind of reminds me of that as well is Drive Me Crazy, which has Melissa Joan Hart and Adrienne Grenier, I think that is. So cheesy, but so good. I haven't watched that in a while, but You Drive Me Crazy. So 90s. The Holiday, I love Kate Winslet. She's probably one of my favorite actresses, and this is not one of her, like, more well-known movies because it's like a rom-com, but it's so good. It has a great cast. It also has Cameron Diaz and Jude Law and Jack Black. Basically, Cameron Diaz and Kate Winslet's characters, they house swap because they don't really like their lives right at the moment, and they kind of want to just have a better, you know, vacation and get out, and Kate Winslet's character goes to LA where Cameron Diaz lives, and Cameron Diaz goes to England where she meets Kate Winslet's brother in the movie, which is Jude Law, and they fall in love, and then Kate Winslet's character falls in love with Jack Black's character, who works with Cameron Diaz's character because they're like in Hollywood and stuff. Oh, I just love it so much. A more modern rom-com that I love as well is Crazy Stupid Love, which also has Emma Stone in it. Just a great cast. Steve Carell, Ryan Gosling, who I don't even like his other movies, but this movie I really like him as like the douchebag, but also becomes a good guy. I really think the babysitter on there is really hot. She's just, yeah, just all these kind of like they're falling in love in an unintentional, not very good situations kind of scenarios. A Cinderella Story is one of my favorite movies as I was like a teen. I saw it on TV a long time ago. I was obsessed with it a little bit. I was obsessed with the soundtrack as well. I'll Be, Edwin McCain. That movie version is way better than the original, I'm just saying, but oh god, Chen Michael Murray and Hilary Duff, just, how does he not know that it's her, the freaking mess? She just has this on. Do you not ever look at her in the face? That always pissed me off, but I love this movie so much because it's just so cheesy, but so, you know, it's all the girls want to fall in love that way, you know, back in the day, so. Miss Congeniality is another great Sandra Bullock film. It's more like a comedy, but also has romance in it. You know, she's like the undercover cop who just does not belong in this beauty pageant, but she ends up really working based on her personality. And there's a sequel as well. Another great Sandra Bullock movie I want to mention is While You Were Sleeping. Not her best movie, but if you love rom-coms, these are really cheesy. But another cheesy, but also really great family-oriented film is My Big Fat Greek Wedding, where the girl who comes from a huge Greek family falls in love with the American boy, and how does he fit and his family fit into this humongous, very Greek family. It's just so much shenanigans are happening, but, you know, everybody's seen this movie, and I think everybody really likes it. Another movie that I had watched as a child or a young teen or tween, preteen, or whatever, is The Princess Diaries, Anne Hathaway, Julie Andrews, who are just the most unlikely and wonderful pair. I don't know, everybody's seen The Princess Diaries, you know. It's just awesome, you know. It's like, you wish you could find out you were a princess and fall in love with your best friend's brother. And the last one on this list is Never Been Kissed, Drew Barrymore, and the guy who plays the teacher that she falls in love with, he's so hot. But basically she's an undercover writer who has to expose his high school, but she had a horrible high school experience when she was in high school, and she was like the nerd that got made fun of all the time, so she just had like this post-traumatic, you know, and she had to cope with it. But then she becomes one of the popular girls, and how does she cope with the bullies bullying the girl that she once was. I'm horrible explained, but it is so good. You know, and then she's never been kissed, and then that one big movie moment where they kiss finally and everybody sees. Don't you just love movies? I have so many other cheesy films I could mention, like Aquamarine, which is so bad, but it's so good, where the girl she's a mermaid, but then she grows, you know, gets legs like Ariel from The Little Mermaid, and then she falls in love with a boy, and she has to make him kiss her and to profess that he loves her, so she has grant wishes. I don't know, but yeah. So those are my recommendations for my favorite chick flicks. I didn't mention them all. I tried to keep them to like 20 or so. Oh, another great one is Stick It. I can't believe I didn't mention that one. I love Stick It. That was like more like a comedy, but it had like romance in it. Ugh, I was obsessed with the movie because they had a lot of Fall Out Boy songs in that movie. So I was like, there's just so many. So, sorry I didn't mention all the great ones. I know there's a lot of 80s ones I didn't mention, like 16 Candles, The Breakfast Club. Is that considered a chick flick? No, not really. Scratch that. 16 Candles, like Pretty in Pink, all those 80s movies, you know. Yeah. But I like them. I do. I really do. But just they're not my favorites. And I've only seen them kind of more recently. So yeah. Those are my favorites. Oh, another one is John Tucker Must Die. And Lizzie McGuire movie. And Juno. Oh, there's so many. Okay. I'm gonna stop talking now. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you next week. I will be doing a DVD collection update, or my whole DVD collection video coming soon. I only have a couple more movies before I fill up my entire shelf, except for one that's just books, but you'll see once I make the video. And I'm excited to do so because I've wanted to do for a while. An actual, like, full-on, great collection. I'm ready for it. So get excited, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching, subscribing. Subscribe if you like this video and you aren't subscribed already. I make videos just like this all the time. I'm not very inspirational. Goodbye!